Okay.
Hello, Flosstube. We are back. This is Bluegrass Blessings, Cross Stitch Shop, Flosstube. I
Coming
am,
from Greenup, Kentucky.
yes, I am Diana,
I'm Stacy.
And I'm Sherry.
and we make up Bluegrass Blessings.
Getting Sherry in the picture.
Uh-huh. Before we get started, I want to make sure to thank one of our wonderful stitchers, Scarlett, for our beautiful quilt that you see hanging behind us or wall hanging. She let us borrow this for our floss tubes and our lives, and it is beautiful. We're patriotic, so we want to thank her for that.
It's also hanging in our brand new location.
Yes, if you have not heard, that's why we haven't been on here for a while. We've had a lot going on. And one of the things that we've had going on is we have moved locations. We are still in the same little shopping mall, but we have moved from one unit to another unit. And we love the new unit that we're in. It's actually an upgrade from where we were. So we've been busy though with the move, getting things back to where we know where everything is.
There's still some stuff lost.
Yeah, we still don't know where some things are. Hopefully one day we'll find them.
Yeah, one day.
Or maybe we didn't need them. So hopefully we will find those. But we wanted to hop on here today because all three of us are huge sampler lovers. And of course, September is Sampler September. So we wanted to hop on here and make sure we get a floss tube in before the end of September. So today we're going to be talking with you about samplers. Now, let me preface this by saying that I am not an expert on samplers. So I love them. I love to stitch them. I love to read books about them. I love to do research on the girls that stitch them. But as far as being an expert, I am by no means an expert. So my opinion is not the gospel or anything like that. It's just my opinion and what I've read. So,
Here, here.
take it as that.
Yeah.
So,
Does one become an expert? Is there like a college course that we can take?
I
Just
think,
throwing that out there if any of y'all know.
um, but that's what we want to talk about today. And
Mhm.
we're going to start off with why we like samplers. I think that when I first started stitching, I didn't know about samplers. I had no idea. Um, because when I started stitching, there were no shops around me. My shop was Heels, which was a retail store at the time, and they only put out cross stitch at Christmas time. So, and you only got like the little ornaments, or you might get a leisure arts book or something like that. But I was never drawn to samplers, didn't even really know what they were until I opened my shop. And some girls told me about Flosstube, and I got on Flosstube and I found Brenda and the Serial Starter.
She discovered Blackbird.
And I found Blackbird Designs. And that is when I went headfirst into samplers. I found the Scarlet House. I found all kinds of Hands Across the Sea. I found so many designers and so many samplers. And that's why I have so many whips now, is because I found all these beautiful things. And of course, samplers usually are not small. So why I like samplers is because I like samplers because they're so diverse. You can you find different colors on different ones, and I also like them because I'm a huge history buff, and I like the fact that you can learn about that girl, that woman, that lady through her needlework, and I think that is amazing. So that's why I like samplers. So,
Okay, I guess I'm not. All right, why do I like samplers? I think that when I was first introduced to samplers, um, I didn't really know what they were or what the purpose was behind them. But from the ones that I had first seen, they tell a story, and that I thought that was really cool that there was so much information in that picture. You just had to know exactly what the hints basically were. There were different things that the girls did or the women did that would give you an indication of a lot of things that occurred in their family life or the people that they were related to, losses, births, all that kind of thing. But now I still like the story. I think the story is what interests me. Um, so I'd have to say that as far as that's my interest is the story behind the sampler.
I was always attracted to them because of the history. I am kind of a history nerd, and the evolution of stitching and how important it was for our daily lives, not only for clothing but self-expression. I just find it fascinating. I can fall down into a rabbit hole really quick, and this could become a very long video. So I'll just say they're beautiful.
Great. Should go on a tear.
I could. Yeah, sorry.
It's okay. Hey, there's nothing wrong with knowledge.
I would say out of the three of us, Stacy is probably the most well versed on samplers. She has some antique samplers herself, and so she's probably the most well versed. But if you do want to read about some samplers, there's lots of good books out there. But I did bring a few that I myself really like. This is called The Threads of Life. And it's not just about needlework, it's about anything to do with fiber and needles, and it's told more like a story. But it's very good. I love this book.
I've read another book by her. You can also listen to those on Audible.
Yes.
They're good.
This one I got. I'm very interested in American samplers. Not that if I saw a pretty Scottish sampler that I wouldn't stitch it, but I have a real interest in American samplers. And so one of the first books I got was American Samplers. And this is a really good book. Now, it's not one you're just going to sit down and read for pleasure. There's a lot of information and history and things like that. But there's also some pictures in here. And this one is called Samplers and Sampler Makers, and it's another one about American samplers from the 1700s to 1850, because for the first 100 years of our country's birth, we didn't have samplers because our people were making houses and, making out ways of life and things like that. So samplers didn't really exist as far as American samplers went.
In the traditional sense.
Yes.
You're busy surviving here
Yes.
in the United States.
So those are three really good books if you want to
They
do
are.
some research. They have those same kind of books about Scottish samplers, about British samplers, about any kind of sampler that you would want to look at. You can find a book about that, and it gives you a lot of good detail if you want to learn. Now, I will tell you this, and I have one in my whip pile, is if you ever buy Hands Across the Sea, those are like a little booklet, novelette about that girl and history at that time and stuff, which was one of the reasons why I love those charts, because they're like a little mini bit of history that you get with
She really
it.
does a lot of research.
She does.
Yes.
Nadala
Yeah.
is just wonderful, and
Yeah, she does cover a lot.
she does a wonderful job. So I love getting her books, even if I'm not necessarily going to stitch the sampler. I like to have the book just to read about the girl sometime. And Whilst Ira Snaps is another one. If you don't watch her YouTube channel, you should. She does a wonderful job of telling you the history about the girls that she is reproducing their antiques. So it's really nice. Those two I would highly suggest you watching. So
There's so much to learn about samplers.
Oh, yeah.
There's different types. Things were popular in different regions.
Yes.
Some motifs will mean something to other cultures that won't mean anything to ours.
Yeah.
The fibers that they're made of, it's just really very fascinating.
It is hugely fascinating, especially when you start to learn those things. And we were at a market, the first market that Stacy went to with us, and one of the designers there told Stacy, that may be the only time that little girl or that woman actually did her name, because her husband would have written her name, or her father would have written her name. So that is the one piece of
Tangible history.
yes, that you have of that actual woman or that little girl. So, that's part of why samplers to me are so magical and so full of history. So we're going to show you some of our whips, and I'm going to tell you right now, I have far more than what I brought. But these two told me I had to pick my favorites, and I thought I can't pick my favorites. They're all my favorites. So I picked the ones that were on top. So that's what I brought.
And then she told the rest of them that they weren't
Yes, I
her
told them.
favorites.
I said, it's not that you're not my favorites. These were just on top. So,
If you let her bring them all, we'd be here for days. That's one of the
I want to go home
drawbacks.
tonight.
Yeah, one of the drawbacks of having a stitchy shop.
hey, I had these long before. Well, no, I didn't. I didn't have samplers until I had the shop. So, but yeah.
Okay, Sherry, you want to go first?
Sherry, show
Okay.
us one of your whips. One of your sampler whips.
One of my sampler whips.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, not every stitched piece is the same.
No.
Okay. All right. This right here, Bless Our Home. This one right here is in timeout, just so you know.
Yeah, she's
And
been blessing this one a while.
Yeah, this one really just, and it's the simplest thing. I think I can only work on the heart. The simple ones just, I don't know, something happens.
She's so aggravated with it.
She and I have redone the border 3 times.
Counted and counted and counted, and it's beautiful, but she's not happy yet.
No, and
It's the border.
I can't let it go. I can't. I just can't let it go. I just, I mean, I'm sure there's some way I could fudge it and make it work, but my eye will constantly be drawn to that. No one else is going to, well, they might, because it's symmetrical. That's the other thing. If it's symmetrical, it's got to be symmetrical.
No,
It's
they
just-
wouldn't notice the half stitch. It was off. They wouldn't have. So, but she does her.
That's right.
All
And
right.
she's a border girl.
Yes.
I
If
love
the
borders.
mistake was in the middle, she might not worry so much, but that it's in the border, it's a problem.
Yes. So one of my favorite designers of samplers is the Scarlet House. And this was my unicorn for a long time. This is Sarah Elizabeth Brooks, 1842. Now, one of my favorite things to stitch is a house. I like houses, I love strawberry borders, and I love weird trees. So this does it all for me. So I love everything about this one. And I am doing this on a piece of 32 count Old Sheep by XG Design. And this is how far that I have gotten on her. So you can see I'm a landmark stitcher. I will start in the top left hand and then I will work down until I can get to that house. And then that's where the fun begins. So, and Scarlet House usually, and I don't have the back, but usually she will put on the back of her reproductions the picture of the antique. So, and she is pretty much what we would call a purist in as far as reproduction. She does her samplers pretty much follows what the little girl did. Now, you will have some that do not. They do what they call their interpretation of the antique. So, but Scarlet House pretty much sticks to trying to keep with the actual antique.
As much as you can, because often the fabrics that the original was stitched on was not an even weave.
Yeah.
So that makes things challenging when you go to reproduce it on current modern materials.
Yeah, and you'll see that in the antiques that we show you here in a little while.
I don't have a very big start on this one, but I do like this. This is Hand Perry by 1884 Stitchery. This is inspired by an antique. The 1884 Stitchery believes that this might be a schoolgirl, or as a girl in school learning to do her needlework, because Just about every bit of surface is filled.
And that's one thing when people look at samplers, we've had people come in and say, why are there ABCs on it? Well, that was part of their learning. They would learn their ABCs by stitching them on their needlework.
And that can also help date a sampler. But that's my big whopping start, but I think I'm going to love it.
And this is on 32 count.
It's a fox and rabbit.
Dirt track?
Possibly.
Yes.
It's probably in the bag I took it out of. All right, Sherry, what's next?
Oh, I'm up. Okay. Now this next one that I have is Angot, 1848, and this is a reproduction sampler. This is the pattern itself. And then on the back is the original sampler.
And you can see it. Needlework Press is another one that pretty much sticks to their sampler.
Yeah, they do a lot of nice things.
Yeah.
And this is where I'm at.
Look at that red. Isn't that pretty?
Yeah, this is a pretty sampler.
I think it's done all in Classic Colorworks. You can do it in silks. The silks are a Verswa or the 103s, but it is done in Classic Colorworks, which is what she's doing hers.
Yes, I am doing it now.
Yeah. So it's a nice spread.
That is very pretty.
The next one I'm doing is by With Thy Needle and Thread. This is called Elizabeth Hunt, 1842. This little girl was 7 when she did this. I love this piece, and on the back is a picture of the actual antique. So you can see she pretty much kept faithful to the antique. But can you imagine being 7 years old and stitching that? When I was 7, I was playing in the dirt, and there was no way I could have sat down and did that. But here is my start.
That's pretty.
This is on, I think it's Toasted Hazelnut by XG Designs, 32 count. And the call for colors. Very pretty. Lots of times on samplers, you could tell by how vibrant the colors were if the little girl of the family was wealthy, had money, or if it was all one color. That was another way you could tell if they had money or not. There's a lot of things you could tell from a sampler, the original. So
we'll talk about that in a little bit. Yesterday, we kind of got into the discussion, what constitutes a sampler. Some people believe there are guidelines. I personally believe there's guidelines. There's modern samplers, there's antique samplers, there's many little subdivisions here. But this is what I'm working on, and I would call this a modern sampler, if you can call it a sampler. But I like it, so I'm sharing.
And she calls this, is it Rhode Island style sampler?
Yeah, because it's also in quilts too. It's the border that makes it Rhode Island.
I thought it was in 3s.
Not necessarily.
Okay. But
not in quilts anyway.
I think that's why they call that, but they call that a Rhode Island style sampler.
Something up north like that. And that's where I am on this. My goal is to get this done by next 4th of July because this is basically the story of our country.
And it's 28 count.
Yeah, it's 28 count caramel from Seraphim. So I always forget that part.
I'm really bad about the fabrics. I don't remember them. She remembers them. I don't remember them. I'm sorry. But if you really want to know, just shoot me a message. I'll do the research and find it for you.
Or if you really, really want to know what it is, shoot me a message and I'll tell you what she stitched.
So
Here else you got, Sherry.
All right. So I've got a Plum Street. This is the American sampler. Again, is it a sampler? It is to me. So with that being said, I love this one. It's really pretty. The girls have finished theirs. I have not. And that's what I've done so far.
It's a really fun stitch if you choose to stitch it.
It really is. And this is a R&R.
Mhm.
I think this is Patriots Brew or Winter's Brew. I can't remember which one.
Winter's brew sells, right?
Yeah. So,
And that's my Plum Street American Sampler.
You are next.
all right. The next one is
Her favorite.
Blackbird's my favorite. Now, this is what they call an adaptation or an interpretation. So this is what Blackbird, their interpretation of this sampler. So they kind of changed things around. This is the antique. This is how they designed it. Took the motifs out of it, designed it into this. So it's called We Live in Hope. It's absolutely beautiful, of course. I think anything done by them is beautiful. They also took other motifs out of it and just made smaller ones. So, and here's my start.
You can tell we're not really into ironing.
This is 40 counts. And
That's stitching time.
Right. We'll
This
iron it
is-
when we frame it.
Chai by Seraphim Linens.
It's one of my favorite ones.
And I really enjoyed stitching this. I enjoy all my Blackbirds. They're my favorites. They're not my favorites, I can't say that, but they are one of my favorites. Okie dokie, Stacy.
I've just drawn a blank on the name of this one, but this is by Brenda Keys. And this,
She doesn't put the names on the front. They're on the
Yeah,
back.
they're on the back, which is laying in the other room on my desk because I just brought the front.
I can't remember what it is either.
But it's a really nice sampler. A lot of hers are very nice samplers. She is from the UK. But she does have a border and she does have an alphabet. So some people say, hey, that is truly a sampler. But this is a modern. This is not a reproduction. And I don't have a whole lot on it. It happens to be 32 count paper bark. There's a big old sticker on the back.
She knows because that.
She knows. Better than some of us.
Dear, there's that one.
Brenda Keys has a great,
She has a great resource book.
yes,
If you want to create your own sampler,
yes. She has an ultimate sampler motif book, and she has a couple of books out about samplers that you could read that are really, really interesting. And
I want to get that book actually, a motif.
yeah, you need to. It's
Okay.
really good.
All right, let's see. What I have here is a pattern by the Drawn Thread, and this is what I would consider to be a band sampler. This is modern. This is, bring it in because it's tiny. And the Drawn Thread has quite a few patterns like this, the band samplers. And what I really like about them, they throw in some specialty stitches too, which I like doing a few. There's some I don't like doing. Queen stitch.
Oh, Lord, I didn't even say that.
Don't say it out
don't
loud.
say that word.
Okay. And this is what I've done so far. And they're really cute. I really like their patterns.
Beautiful.
Now, I can't help you out on the fabric on that one. I have no idea.
It's a linen.
Yes.
But I purchased that quite a while back, so.
All right. And we are thinking this is an antique because it does have a girl's name on it. It is called the Pink House Sampler. Remember how I said I love big houses? I also love sheep, and look at all those little sheep. So I love this. I actually was going to dedicate this to my maternal grandmother. She is who my daughter is named after. So, and I enjoy working on this. This is by Plum Street.
Didn't think of it. And whoops, I had it all folded neatly.
And this is, I believe this is brown paper by XU Design, and it's 32 counts.
It's the bottom.
Yeah, I was a little nervous up here, so I went ahead and went over just to make sure I had enough room. So
She's pretty good at that.
you'll see with my finisher in a little bit how
She
good
gives
I
you
am.
like threads left to help frame. I think this is called Every Heart. It's another Brenda Keys that I left laying on my desk. That was cute.
It's very
Yeah.
cute.
I got a little.
Now, would you consider that a sampler? Since it doesn't,
It's a modern sampler, but see, it doesn't have the alphabet. So
Yeah.
where do you go with that? Feel free to leave your comments
if they're nice.
if they're nice. Yes.
Yeah. We really do like to hear.
Yes, we
and
love
because,
comments. Pleasant ones.
We're learning and we love to hear
Yes.
stuff and we love to learn. So whatever you know and you want to share with us, we're up for it.
You know, some people think it has to have an alphabet.
Some people think it has to have an alphabet. Some people think it has to have a border. But if you look back at the history of samplers, that's not the rules.
Yeah, see, I don't think that it has to have an alphabet.
No, I no.
And partially that's because I don't like doing alphabets. That's my own personal opinion. So remember my thing at the beginning is my opinion.
Most girl schoolhouse samplers, I would say, would have alphabet and numbers. If they were schoolhouse, if that was a
Yeah.
piece that they, you know what I mean?
Well, it also depends on the time period that it
Right.
was stitched.
Yeah.
So
And how old I would think the girl, you know, because it wasn't just little girls that did it. Sometimes it was
grown women did
Yeah.
them.
so.
and sometimes if you had a real misbehaved boy
Yes.
doing it too.
Or an invalid.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Yes. All right. This pattern that I have is very old. It's called, the designer was a Stitch in Time. They're no longer available. And this again is a band sampler.
Now, she's calling it a band sampler because it's longer and each scene has like a different band as you go down. So, band samplers were really popular for a while.
That's the way they were done in the 16
Yes.
and early 1700s.
So this is where I am on this. And you'll see most of my patterns get about this far and then I take off and do something else.
Look how close she is. She's done the hard part.
And it's glittery. You can't tell that it's pretty. It's very
It's
so
so
sparkle.
pretty. So pretty.
Thank you, ma'am.
This next one is one of my favorites. It is a reproduction. And there's two that they found for this particular little girl. This one is Lucy Calcutt, 1825, but there was also another one, I forget what year, when she was a little bit, I think, older. But this is the one that I am stitching. I love this.
Yeah, it's a really pretty snap.
It was
I love the
designed
colors.
by Just Stitching Along, and you can still get this pattern. And it's done in all DMCs.
Oh, I need that.
Yeah, that one's size
Now
up
that
all
you,
in it.
when you can see this in person, you're like, oh, I need that pattern.
And I'm about halfway down. I'm almost to the house. So this is 32 count baby sheep by XG Design. As you can tell, I love XG Design fabric. But this is a fun one to stitch on because each motif you finish, you feel like you've done like, oh my gosh, I've worked all day on that and I've done a great thing. So,
I do not have any more whips. That's all I brought.
okay, well, Sherry, I think that's my last whip too. So, Sherry,
Really?
yeah, I think so.
Okay, so I have a Hands
That's-
Across the Sea sampler called Rosa Sugars, and this is a reproduction. And Little Miss Rosa was 4, and I have to tell you right now, that's why I wanted this one. Because the idea of a little 4-year-old stitching this just blew my mind. And that's where I'm at.
And Sherry did her own conversion to Belswa silks.
Yes.
Yes. And this is on a 32 count wasabi. Wasabi, is it 32 or 28?
32.
32 wasabi. Isn't this the one that's wasabi?
Mhm.
Oh. Well, then I don't know.
I don't think so.
Is it caramel? By Seraphim?
Is it
Maybe. Oh, no, this is wasabi. You were correct. You were correct.
I thought
You were correct. This is how I could tell. It's
Yes.
discoloration.
But do you have 2 pieces
Sorry.
on wasabi?
No. but I just didn't remember this one was on wasabi.
This is what
I don't
happens.
remember my fabric, and she can't handle that.
I
She's gonna
remember
have
it.
to just let it go.
Then she says no. Then she
I thought
agrees
she had
with
another
her.
piece of
Because I
wasabi.
didn't see the front.
And then I start to doubt myself.
It's okay.
So-
She'll be fine.
You'll be all right.
All right. Which one's your
I
next?
was right. And that rarely happens. So I just have to take a moment to be
Happens
like,
all the time. She just.
I never am right, hardly. It's your turn. You gotta do the rest
We're
of it.
out. You got to show the
Okay,
rest.
this one I do not have the card with me that shows the original picture, but this is a really, not really, maybe 90s. I mean, it's not that old, but this
It's not as old as Sherry is.
This was
That was
called
just me.
Rose Sampler, and I believe it was by is it Marilyn Levitt and Bloom? Is that her name?
I'm not sure.
Or are you thinking about
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Show
Well,
her
this
what
is
she's thinking.
this is where I'm at. This one has some neat colors. I have enjoyed stitching it if I pick it up and stitch it, but it's at the point where I'm going to put it down and go get something else.
and to me this reminds me of like the French.
Very ornate.
Yes. And their samplers were usually ornate like this.
Yes. Now this is, I mean, the picture is absolutely gorgeous, and maybe on the next Flosstube, I thought it was in the bag, it wasn't. But I mean, it's a huge piece. The border on it is incredible.
Yeah, it's beautiful. They do beautiful.
You consider that sampler?
Yes. A Christmas sampler.
It says it is.
Says it is.
Okay, so now we
It has a
have.
border
It has a border.
This is called Mistletoe Manor,
and has words.
It has words.
and this is a Christmas one, obviously, with Mr. Claus there in the front. And I decided to do this on a green, and this is where I'm at. And what color green is that? Do we know? Diana, come on.
Is this isn't the sage, it's the no. I can't remember what it is now. It's by Seraphim Fabric.
It is a seraphim, but I don't
And
remember the
it's
shape.
much greener than it showed up on
Yeah.
our camera.
Oh yeah,
so-
it's very green.
It's very green.
It's a deep, like a forest green.
But I liked it because the colors really popped on it. So
We saw that at market one year. And it's absolutely to die for, and we couldn't get it at the time. We just about died. So
okay, now I'm bringing out some old ones so that you can see some of the things that they had. This here is considered a sampler, but I'm not really sure. Other than
Pennsylvania, 19th century Pennsylvania.
okay, thank you. It says it right here. I'm sure that was the whole storage. Okay, this is
Your
all.
glasses are under your fabric.
This is all over one, and
Oh.
it's done in a half cross stitch. This one was done in blue. I chose red.
Now, is that considered a band?
Mhm.
Okay.
No.
It's just long.
The link has not a lot to do with the link or with the.
Just if it tells a story or is
It's a band.
complete.
It's bands. I'll show you when I show you this
All
one.
right, hang on. I'm
Okay.
just trying to figure out the front from the back because that's how bad it is. I don't have my glasses on. Let me do that first.
This is your back.
Yes, I see it. Okay.
Bad it is. It's how good they are.
And this is what I have done. It actually should be like this.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think it's upside down. But now realize this is over one, and I don't know what size fabric that is.
This is a linen, and I'm going to say it's probably, it's a 28. So,
Show off.
see how far I am on it? I'm not showing too far off. Okay, and this one here is called, this is by Samplers and Such. And this is called the Bright Spots Sampler.
Now, there were spot samplers, which I can't tell you a lot about because I only have one.
Got a couple.
They did this one and then put it in a
Why does it
fireplace
call
screen,
spot
which I absolutely loved.
Because the motifs are in spots. They're not organized.
So they just picked a spot and put.
And they generally don't have a border.
Oh,
I mean, that's also not a hard, fast rule. There are no hard, fast rules.
And this is
Wow, look at
where,
all those colors.
yeah, it's pretty vibrant.
Mhm.
But like I said, I like things like that. They're different.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it for me.
Okay, you want to finish your pile?
Okay, I'm not gonna finish it all, but I will show you my plans coming up. These are some things that I have kitted, ready to start now. I have many more I have kitted, ready to start, but these were on top. So this was an exclusive put out by Hobby House. But if you are a member of the Facebook group Homespun Needleworks, they do different exclusives, and I usually don't do the exclusives, but this one I had to have because I absolutely fell in love. So this one is ready to go. And then this is the Hands Across the Sea that I was talking about. Sarah Milthorpe, 1834. And this is what I was talking about. Like you get like a little book about, you know, the person that stitched it. So I've got this kitted with silks ready to go. I've just been debating on a fabric because lots of times in Hands Across the Sea, they will have 1/1. And I don't want to be doing 1/1 on 40 count because I want to see for the rest of my life. So that's another one. And then this is a Jessie and Me. It's Martha Davies 1830 sampler. And this is the picture of theirs, and this is the picture of the reproduction or antique. They usually put this inside, which I think is cool.
Yeah.
And I have it kitted. My only problem is that little itty bitty alphabet right there is over 1. I'm wondering how many times do you really need to do the alphabet? So, but I love this.
I got a feeling that samplers are going to have that on.
And
But that's the
then,
difference when it's yours. You do what you want.
and then I have, this came out a few years ago. I Had a Father, Kind and True, Alice Clark, 1844, by Cross Stitch Antiques. I was a daddy's girl through and through, and you don't find many samplers, or I haven't, about your dads or your fathers. Usually, you know, they're religious in that sense, but I really like this one, so got it ready to go. And here is another Scarlet House that I have kitted and ready to go. A lot of you may be familiar with this one. It's the Smith sampler. This is probably a particular kind of sampler since it is kind of done in bands. I don't know.
I would lean it towards a band sampler,
But it is beautiful done up. I've seen several floss tubers do this and finish it. It is absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, if someone out there knows what qualifies or what makes something
Yeah.
a band sampler, shoot it at us. We'd
Yeah.
like to know. On some things are obvious and some things are questionable. So.
Yeah. And then the last thing, which is not the last thing, the last one I brought that I have kitted is Sarah Jackson. This is another Scarlet House. And I like this one just for the simplicity of it. I like the trees. I love the strawberry border. So those are the ones. Now, I don't know when I'll be starting them. I know it's Sampler September, and for the first time ever, I am not in the mood to stitch samplers. I have been stitching fall and Halloween, so I'm sure the mood will hit me. It probably won't be in September. It might be February. I don't know because I always have samplers up and ready to go. I love stitching them any time of the year, but and as you can see, I've got plenty kitted and ready to go. So, what about you, Sherry? What you got planned?
All right. Well, I have a few samplers here that I'm not necessarily planning any particular time, but I just thought I'd bring them in to show you. Again, another band sampler. This one was by Indigo Rose. And I just thought it was really cool because she's got a lot of special stitches in there. And I like the border And whether or not I'll get to it right away, it's not looking good, but it's still pretty. I'm not going to lie to you about these, but they are beautiful.
If you like specialty stitches, a sampler is a good way to try specialty stitches because that's just what it's called, a sampler. It usually is a sample of your stitches. And so you may find specialty stitches in that sampler. So it's a good way to practice or to learn a new stitch.
Yes, this particular designer was big on the satin stitch, which I love. And then this is also by the same designer. And this one I would not call it a band, but is it? I don't know. But it's very pretty. I love all the detail in it.
And she does fabulous satin stitches. Like her satin stitches are beautiful.
Thank you. And then this is Barrick Samplers. And I thought this was neat because they do have it on a horn book, but and that is just simply the alphabet.
And see, this would be a good starter sampler. Like if you were wanting to get your feet wet in samplers, this would be a good one to maybe try.
Yeah, because it's just that. It's just your alphabet. It's
And
got a few motifs,
yeah.
nothing, too
Nothing too
hard.
elaborate.
Yeah. And then this one here, I got at Market. I absolutely,
She didn't remember that she had purchased
but I do
it.
love it. That's what happens when you have so much stuff. You
We
don't
were
know
sitting there
what's happening.
putting prices on things, and I handed this to her, and she's like, "Who bought this?"
I love this. Who bought this?
I'm like,
See, I loved
"You
it.
did."
This is a reproduction. This is Sarah Welch, 1764.
And it is beautiful.
And I think it was the purples. I don't know that I've seen a whole lot of older
Picture of the
samplers.
original.
Purples, yeah.
The original is on the back.
And
See,
then
You
there's your
can't tell
original.
much, and I'll show you that here in a little bit when we start talking about antiques.
So yeah, so that they got that from that, and it takes a lot of work to figure that out. It's not just guesswork. Okay, one sampler that we got recently in the shop, and this one really, like I said, rings a bell for me because this year was the year of the cicada. So we've already had a couple of girls who have stitched it. It's beautiful. It's got a lot of detail in it, but it tells a story. And
And it has an alphabet.
yes,
Has
so,
a border.
yeah, so that's what I really liked about it. It does tell a story, and like I said, it hit the notes on the fact that this year we had the cicadas, and boy, were they singing.
Oh, yeah.
All right, and then last but not least, I have what we call a British Isles band sampler. This is officially a band sampler. And this is original design. So
They were taken from different samplers in the British Isles, and Cross Stitch Antiques put them all together.
yes.
So it's a modern band sampler.
Yes.
But it's very interesting, but taken from antique samplers. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
It's very pretty.
All right, Miss Stacy.
This is Elizabeth Wood, 1822, by With My Needle. This is a reproduction. I really want to do this. If I ever get some other things done, this will be next. I like it because it's different. And it's not perfect, as you can tell, because they followed the original. And here is a picture of the original. Isn't that amazing? 1822. Just think about what was going on in the world in 1822. Lots of things. I think France was cutting people's heads off.
Oh, jeez.
Anyway. And then I have this sampler. It is the Francis Burnwell sampler. It's one of the oldest ones, not the oldest, but one from Virginia, 1760. This is where you can tell. Let me see if I can show you a better picture here. This is where band samplers started to, the popular style started to change into samplers that would look more familiar to us today. Good. I should have been more organized. Here's this. Okay. these are bands on a band sampler, which was the way things were done in the 1600s because it was an actual example of the stitches, all kinds of stitches, satin, queen, all of them, because it was considered a record of your work. They were generally long and skinny because they were stitched on scraps, because they were never intended to be framed or shown. This was a reference. But as you get closer to the 1700s and move through time, then people started doing things that were just a little bit more interesting. If, of course, you had the funds. Now, I'll have to reread. I don't really remember a whole lot about this lady. I've had this in my stash for quite a while. But the more colorful you had, if it was silks versus wool versus linen, it all had to do with what kind of materials you had to work with. And that's why in our region here in Kentucky and Southern Ohio, good quality samplers haven't survived because of what they had to work with and just the general lack of, because it's hard to stitch a sampler while you're running from a bear. Here's a blown up picture that I found inside the box of the different kinds of bands and works. And there's satin stitches and some other stitches. I have got the first 2 rows done, which is basically a back stitch and a running stitch. So I'm not going to show you what I got. But those things are the ones I want to do. See? A running stitch. That's all I've got. Till we get to my antiques.
All right, so I wanted to show you some finishes. These are my 2 favorite that I've stitched and finished so far. This is Sarah Casey Unwin. This is by Chessie and Me. It's on 40 count little sheet by X Jude, and as I told you before, I like to get close on those edges. This, there is no over 1 in it, so this was nice. It was a nice one to stitch. And then my favorite one I've ever stitched is this. This was they called it an anniversary sampler. And this, let me say this, this was framed before we framed. So this is me sticking it in a horrible frame. This is not our professional framing. So I love stitching this. This is a blackbird. It's called All Joys for Thine. I stitched this while my dad was sick, and I think that's why it's so means so much to me. I made it into an anniversary sampler, my husband's initial, my initials, and the year we got married. So this was a fun one. So, all right. And now we're going to talk about some of our antiques that Stacy has.
This one's not antique.
Oh, okay.
This is a finish. I haven't shared it before. It's the first time I've brought it into the shop. I like the way the colors were used in the design.
Cool.
This was before we started framing. The lady who helped me pick the frame did a fabulous job. We have this frame in the shop if you like it.
We have this frame in several colors.
We do. We
If
have
you
it in
like
black and a tan and a silver. Not tan, but more of a brown.
It's like a rose color.
Yeah, it's really pretty. But anyways, today happens to be my anniversary, and we honeymooned in Colony, Williamsburg, and this is Governor's Mansion there in Williamsburg, and one of the main streets there along in Williamsburg. I think you would call this a like the Heritage Sampler. What was it? Not Maryland. It's
Rhode Island.
Rhode Island. I think because of the flower pots that goes all the way up to the top. I think that's one of the defining marks, but I'm not positive. Someone can fact check me on that.
Okay. All right. So let's show them some more antiques because we got them.
They're all behind me.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, where are they? I need to pass them.
We've been really blessed here in the shop to have, first of all, Stacy loves antiques, and we have some customers who have brought some antiques in that they have. So this is one from one of our customers.
This belongs to Jessica.
Mm-hmm.
This is a very colorful. It says $18.99. Now, if you're going to shop for an antique, you really have to know what you're looking for because there's a lot of fakers out there. But because the colors, see, what would throw me would be because the colors are so bright for $18.99.
Yes.
But the colors have also ran and faded onto the fabric. So I would have bought this if the price was right.
Mm-hmm.
and taken a chance on it. But she brought this in. I think it's fabulous. We may be opening it up soon to see what it's like on the back. She's a sweet person, Jessica is, and has lent us two of her antiques. I'll show you one here in a second.
Probably the only way you can tell if it is true or not is to open up and look at the back.
Yes.
Wouldn't you think?
Yeah, and you have to know your materials and know
Yeah.
what was stitched with and what was available at the time. It's like I saw one from the 1930s. Yeah, you could call that an antique now, but do you want? Well, I mean, it depends on what you're looking for.
Yeah.
And it's easy to fake one. I saw one that was clearly stitched in the 80s, and they were trying to pass this off as a really old antique. According to their price tag, they thought it was ancient.
Yeah.
And I passed up on it because styles change. And as you look at them, just like you can tell a car from the 50s versus from a car from now, you can tell the style, the colors, the materials.
Yeah.
It's a lot of learning. Let's see. This is Jessica's other one.
And we just framed this.
I get so giddy when people bring this stuff in. It's ridiculous. But anyway, she wanted to open this up and to see what it was like on the back. So we all worked. Everybody was around my operating table. And we took the back off and found out that she is at least 2 shades of green. And she is from 1836.
And if
1836.
this is what we were talking about, your material fades and
how it ages.
mhm.
And you're not always going to get answers on the back, but why backs are important is they're not exposed to the light and they're not exposed to the elements. This was not framed well, so it has some damage, but we have restored it as much as I know how to. And I think Miss Emma's going to live quite a long life. Right now she's in our shop, and I do know Jessica is trying to chart her, and she's struggling a little bit. It's not as easy as you think to chart.
No.
But I love her. I don't know how long Jessica will let me keep her.
But she is a nice.
I would be a sampler hoarder. Now, this is my latest acquisition.
1832.
32. Her name is Anne
Elizabeth Fletcher.
Fletcher, that's right. So I can't hardly see it. It's over 1. Now, if you would look at this one in the antique shop, it honestly just looks brown. But there's some yellows and there's some blues. This is in very fragile condition. See the holes. But even in the 1830s, these were not really meant to be hung up unless your parents paid a whole lot for you to go to school. And then it was like a diploma, and your parents did hang them over their fireplaces.
And this one probably was framed professionally or well for the time because it does have a stamp or a sticker of a professional frame shop on the back from Baltimore. So we've been leery to take it apart, afraid that it'll just fall apart.
They were very thin frames.
Yeah.
Before you got to high Victorian era where everything got chunky, this was what was before.
Yeah.
This is early Victorian. Queen Victoria was alive. I don't know if she was ruling.
And you can see it's already fragile anyway because it's starting to tear and things. So we don't want to do any damage to her by taking her out.
This is Sophia Barber, age 9, from Derby, from 1780, and she's left off the number. Now, sometimes, and I can't tell unless I take this out of the frame because they've done a very good job of preserving this.
Yeah.
There's such thing as a vanity pick. When little girls dated their things and then they hung it on their wall when they were older and they got vain and they didn't want anybody to know how old they were, they would go back and pick it.
They would pick out that number so nobody would know how old they were.
She was 9 years old when she stitched this. This is, as far as I can tell. Now, Ancestry is a useful tool, but it is not 100% accurate, but as far as I can tell, this originated in England. And she is beautiful. And my husband said, "You're going to get that." And I said, "I'm not leaving without it. I'll just sit here in this antique shop for the rest of my life." But this one is remarkably framed and preserved, so I am afraid to open this one as much as I would love to, just because I'm afraid I couldn't put it back. It's just so well done.
Yes.
Anyway, this one sits on my mantle, but if you want to see it in person, call me. I'll bring it in. Okay. This is my very first antique, actually. My mother
And it's her baby.
It is my baby. My kids would tease me and say, "Are you going to set another plate at the table for Clarissa?" I passed by her in an antique shop. This was before I knew what I was doing. My mother-in-law went back and got it and gave it to me for Christmas. And because I didn't know what I was doing, I was fearless, and I opened her up and found beautiful things inside, and I'll show you here in a minute. But this is Miss Clarissa it's easier to read when I show you the other one. Now, if you look at this just looks all shades of browns. But I'll show you what we discovered when we opened it. You could tell at one time it was tacked into place. It was in a terrible frame. It does have specialty stitches as far as like the box stitch and all of that. And how she has been exposed to the sun. There's a house here. Some of these motifs, when I went to reproduce it, I had to look at the shadow on the back, the stain from the thread onto the fabric. Now, when I opened her up on the back, it didn't look like this. I had to like peek underneath some of the threads to see what color the fabric was. This is my interpretation, as close as I could get, because it's actually kind of hard to reproduce mistakes. But I do believe she was blue, and these are the colors that I thought she used. I do believe it's silks. She had personality, see here? She went across with one color, and she came back with a wool in another color. I imagine this little girl was feisty. I can find her family. I can't find her. I don't know. In one period in New England, records weren't that great because the ministers who did the marrying and the burying only came to town to record things once in a while, and things got misplaced. I can find her family. Her father was a Civil War vet, and that's how they came to Ohio. That's where I found this was in an antique shop in Ohio. Because they gave away land as payment for service. So her name is Clarissa Whitley. She was 10 years old in 1820. And she's my favorite, I think.
Yes. So those are just some of our favorite samplers, some of our antiques. We love helping people with antiques. If you have an antique and you would like to bring it in and have us help you reframe it or something like that.
Research it. But now we're not
we're
specialists.
No.
And if it's too fragile, I would not touch it.
Yes.
But if we can help you learn more, and we can help you teach you the best way to preserve what you do have.
Yes. So we just wanted to share with you that tonight. Before we get off here, we do want to mention a couple of things that are coming up in our shop. September is a big month for us because first of all, we have a trunk show right now going on from the Blue Flower. And then we should have a trunk show coming from Atomic Ranch Rogue Fabric, and a designer trunk show from Textile Crafts. And then we are having our one-day retreat that we have every year, Stitch-a-Palooza, September 20th. The deadline is this Friday to sign up for that. We have a few spots. Actually, that's tomorrow. So by the time you all watch this, it may be too late. But
don't be afraid to call.
Yeah, don't be afraid to call.
We're kind of a sucker. If you cry, we'll let you in.
Yeah, you don't even have to cry for me. So But
It's easy.
Shit. But we will take you the day of. You
yes,
just might not get the swag bag.
yeah. But we love our little shop here. We love our people here, and we love that we have the people subscribing that do. We would try our best to get these more often. We are just three very busy women, and this takes a lot more effort than you think. So we hope you enjoyed this Flosstube. We hope to see you back in a few weeks with some more eye candy to show you and stuff. And we appreciate you watching this today.
If you don't have an LNS, we'd love for it to be yours.
Yes.
But if you tell us where you're from, maybe we can find you one closer.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and if you have something you want us to talk about or things you'd like to see,
Or if you have a question for us, put it in the comments.
Yeah.
And if you want us to frame something, we can talk about that. I don't care to
absolutely.
ship if you're brave enough.
Yeah.
yeah, we're pretty open here.
Yeah.
Pretty laid back. Any day we're open, you're welcome to come and stitch.
Yes. Our new place has a stitching room. We love it. So, but on that note, we say goodbye and we hope you all have a good rest of your day.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.